Ryan Blaney has done it again. He wins in the most either chaotic or closest, most heart-racing fashion possible. Career win number 1, Pocono 2017 with the Wood Brothers. Harvick, Kyle Busch on his tail, and he holds him off to win. Win number 2, Jimmy Johnson and Martin Truex Jr. take each other out. Blaney, through the smoke, wins it. Career wins number 3 and 4 at Talladega. Both photo finishes, he wins by 7 1/1000ths of a second. Career win number, what win is this now? 7? I don't know how many, it's 7 or 8. Another photo finish at Talladega. Ryan Blaney, can you just win in normal fashion, please? I'm still out of breath here. My goodness. Oh my gosh. But yes, Ryan Blaney holds off Kevin Harvick, who was looking for his last win. Now he's still got 4 or 5 races to go to get that final win. But Kevin Harvick, with what has looked like his best opportunity to get his last career win, was side by side with Ryan Blaney at the finish line to get that final win and comes up short. Unfortunately, the guy he was getting pushed by, Riley Herbst was in contention for this win, ladies and gentlemen. Riley Herbst got wiped out by Corey LaJoie, and half the field got wiped out by Corey LaJoie at the end there. But point being, heartbreak for Kevin Harvick. If he can't get that final win in these next 4 or 5 races, I think he's going to look at this one and be like, man, if LaJoie just doesn't take out Herbst there, I think Herbst gives him the push. I think it's actually Harvick who would have won, so heartbreak for Harvick. I know that's a great result for him. It's a great result for Stewart-Haas Racing, but man, you got to feel for Harvick. So close. So close. Kevin Harvick looking for that last one. I know he's accomplished so much in his career. He's got, 60 career wins. He's got a championship. Super Speedway racing has never been his thing, let's be honest. He's been in the Cup Series for 22 years now. He's got, I think, 4 combined races, 1 on Super Speedway, so Daytona and Talladega, and 4 wins. His last one came back in 2010, I think, at Talladega in a photo finish over Jamie McMurray. And this could have been the opportunity. Obviously, it's his last chance. He didn't wreck out. I'm sure he's happy not to wreck out, but unfortunately for Harvick, comes up short. On the back stretch, he had the lead, but he had too much of a lead. He was going to get ran over. Goes up to block Blaney. Blaney, as expected, went down to the bottom to pass him, and if Harvick goes to block that, he's going to wreck the entire field. So Harvick, at this point, you're going to get ditched, but Herbst, as a loyal kind of teammate. Herbst was racing for Front Row, but SHR prepared the car, and SHR is the team owner of Herbst's Xfinity car. So that's basically a teammate for Harvick. Herbst comes up, gives him a big push, gets him back side by side with Blaney, but Blaney just able to beat Harvick by that much. And so heartbreak for Harvick, but Blaney, that win is huge for him. As I said, it's his first multi-win season since 2021. And it gets him into the next round of the playoffs. Both of his Talladega wins in the fall race 2019 and today have gotten him into the next round when the point situation was tight. He was not in the greatest points position. I think he was in the plus, but it was by like 10 or so points, I want to say. And so this guarantees him a spot into the next round. He is advanced in the NASCAR playoffs. But we saw some NASCAR playoff guys have problems. The last lap of Stage 1, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. ran out of fuel, backed up Kyle Busch. Ross Chastain tried to avoid them. Ross Chastain slammed the outside wall, destroyed the right front of his car, and he was done. 0 stage points, finishes last, only 1 point for Chastain on the day. Christopher Bell was also involved in that crash, was able to fix the damage. I don't know where they finished in this race. We saw multiple playoff contenders in that last lap crash with Kyle Larson, Chris Buescher, I think Chase Elliott, who's in the Owners' Championship, he was involved in it. But Brad Keselowski was involved in a wreck with about 25 to go. So there was a lot of playoff implications in this race. Once I get the points, I'll give them to you. But first, let's go through the finishing results of this race. Ryan Blaney, as I said, is your winner. He advances to the next round of the NASCAR playoffs. And once again, in thrilling fashion. This might have been the best super speedway race we've seen in this next-gen era. The next-gen car struggled at the beginning of the super speedway era. The end of this Gen 6 from 2019 to 2021. The best super speedway racing I've seen. Runs were huge. Different guys would get up front. You know, you could actually make moves. But then the beginning of the next gen era, it was difficult to pass. There was only 2 lines that could be run. But starting with Talladega in the spring, we saw a 3rd line get developed, and it was shown that it was possible to make it work. And ever since then, the racing has been fantastic in the next gen at super speedways. We saw Atlanta was a great race back in the summer. We saw the Daytona cutoff race before the playoffs was a fantastic race where we saw 3x3x3 all the way through the pack for multiple laps. And then we saw the same thing today, 3x3x3 for a good chunk of this race. That 3rd line could indeed get developed. We saw so many lead changes today. We saw, 15, 20 guys lead laps today. We saw just a few examples. We saw Blaney lead laps. I think we saw Larson lead laps. We saw Byron. We saw Bubba Wallace, I think, lead laps. I think we saw Ricky Bobby lead some laps, Ryan Preece. So we saw a variety. Ty Dillon led laps on pure speed. Yes, you heard me right. Ty Dillon, who usually only leads laps in like pit cycles, made his way through the field and led laps on speed. Can you believe it? I'm still in shock. I bet Ty Dillon finished like 18th or something. But, he led laps on speed. Ty Dillon, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up for him. Ty Dillon. Anyways, back to the race. Great race. Ryan Blaney is your winner, though. He wins his 3rd race at Talladega, all in photo finishes. 007 in the first 2 and a .012 in this one. So 0.12 of a second. But oh my gosh, what a close finish. What a great race. Ryan Blaney, big win for him, advances him to the next round of the playoffs. As for Kevin Harvick, as I said again, heartbreak for Harvick. His best shot at a win this year literally comes up this short. I mean, you got to feel for Harvick. Nothing's gone his way this year. Even when they've had great cars, it's just not played out for him. And finally, they have a good car. They're out front. It's a super speedway. They're not wrecking. They're side by side for the win, but the guy that's pushing him gets taken out by LaJoie, and it's heartbreak for Harvick, man. I hope he can get a win in these last few races. William Byron finishes 3rd, already won last week at Texas to advance to the round of 8, so good for him. 4th place, Denny Hamlin, was a lap down early in this race. What a rally for that team to come back from a lap down to finish in the top 5. They are now way above the cutoff line. They don't need to worry about the Roval. They're not locked in yet, but, I mean, they can lock in like by stage 1 next week. So Denny Hamlin, great race for him, great comeback for him. 5th place, Corey LaJoie, fantastic result for him. Great for Spire, who's been spending a lot of money recently on new charters, on a truck series team. They've been in the news a lot. Corey LaJoie is a great super speedway racer. We see him up front at the end of a lot of these things, and he gets himself a top 5. He had to take out half the field to do it, but it's a top 5 for Corey LaJoie and Spire, so good for them. 6th place, Austin Cindric. I think I had him finishing in my top 5. He comes up just short, but a great race for Austin Cindric. He's a good super speedway racer. The 2022 Daytona 500 champions had a struggle of a year. Good to see him get a top 10. Justin Haley finishes 7th, another really good super speedway racer. How many teams did we have in the top 10? We had a Penske, we had a Stewart-Haas, Hendrick, Gibbs, Spire, another Penske, Colleague, and a front row, 7. Very cool. 8th place, Chase Elliott finished this race backwards. He was the second victim, really, of the Corey LaJoie antics, I guess that's what we'll call them. When Herbst got turned down into Elliott, Elliott spun across the racetrack, and Elliott ended up finishing 8th. Good for him. Big for the Owners' Championship. Obviously, they led some laps today. They really decided to turn it on in the playoffs this year. They've been consistently top 10 for that Owners' Championship. They seem to have found a little bit of a rhythm here. But Elliott's been great at the super speedways in this next-gen car. I don't know what it is about the next-gen and super speedways that he's done so well at, but he's got a couple wins. He's led a lot of laps. So top 10 for him. It's good for him in the Owners' Championship once again. 9th place, Ricky Bobby, a.k.a. Ryan Preece. Led some laps in that number 41 Wonder Bread Ford. He had a great race. SHR as a whole was really fast today, which is not a thing that is normally said in 2023. But Ryan Preece was fast. He led about 5 to 10 laps, was out front. It was really cool. Dale Jr. got to say that Ricky Bobby was leading the race. Good race for him. 10th place, Riley Herbst was up there pushing Kevin Harvick to a win and then got wrecked. Riley Herbst could have had a top 5. Riley Herbst, if he wanted to, he could have made a move for the win. It wouldn't have gotten him the win most likely, but he could have made a move and said he made a move for the Cup Series win. Riley Herbst gets a top 10 finish at Talladega. He's been fast in these few Cup Series races he's made. It's been all at super speedways, but he's been fast. You got to give him a little bit of credit. 11th place, Daniel Suarez. 12th place, Chandler Smith, another Xfinity driver in the field who's a really good result. 13th, Todd Gilliland. Go Todd. 14th, Cal Naughton Jr., also known as Chase Briscoe. I don't think he led any laps today, but he was up front for a good portion of the race. 15th, Christopher Bell, playoff driver. 16th, Kyle Larson. Oh, man. Larson, it seems like he's finally going to survive one of these super speedway races. He's running top 10, top 5 on the last lap. No one's taking him out by the tri-oval. He's going to do it. Kyle Larson's going to survive a super speedway and finish in the top 10, and he's wrecked. At the exit of the tri-oval, he got wrecked. Dude, it makes no sense how bad Kyle Larson is at super speedway. It's like, he's just sitting there, minding his business, and he just gets wiped out every time, every single time. Daytona, Talladega, Atlanta. He could hold the bottom the entire race, 39th place, a second off the field. I guarantee you he would find a way to get wrecked. These super speedways, man, and he lost a lot of points on that last lap crash. 17th, Tyler Reddick. 18th, Eric Almirola. 19th, Martin Truex Jr. Another bad result for him. Chris Buescher finishes 20th. RFK usually really get the super speedways today. It was not that great for him. Brad Keselowski got caught up in a wreck, but Brad won a stage. I don't think Chris Buescher led any laps. It was a surprisingly struggle of a day for them. I thought they'd both be in the top 5 at the end of this thing, or top 10 at worst, but Buescher finishing 20th, Brad DNFing. Bad day for RFK. 21st, AJ Allmendinger. 22nd, Michael McDowell led some laps. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the first stage. Oh my goodness, I thought he was going to wreck the field. He did not. Well, took out Chastain because he ran out of fuel. But that's not the whole field. 24th, Bubba Wallace lost a bunch of positions on that last lap crash. He was running up in the top 10 for a good chunk of this race, led a few laps, but unfortunately, 24th. 25th, Joey Logano. 26th, Kyle Busch. Ooh, points are not going to look good for him. 27th, Eric Jones. 28th, Ty Dillon. Led laps on pure speed today. Give it up for him. Ty Dillon. All right, Alex Bowman was leading laps there at the end, got shuffled to the back by his teammate. Yeah, William Byron kind of screwed Hendrick out of a win there. They were controlling both lanes, and then Byron stepped out of line, kind of set them back, and then they lost position, and Bowman got shuffled to the back. Bowman leading laps for the first time this year, it feels like, and he kind of gets screwed there at the end, finishes 29th. 30th, Get Loud from McLeod. 31st, Brennan Poole. 32nd, Harrison Burton. 33rd, Brad Keselowski. Man, he was looking good points-wise. He was looking like he was going to have a really good day. Gets involved in a wreck. Finishes 33rd. 34th, Austin Dillon, also involved in that wreck. Hit hard, like really hard into the wall. Hope he's okay. Him and Ty Gibbs hit really hard, who finished 35th. Carson Hocevar finishes 36th. J.J. Yeley, 37th. Ross Chastain, 38th. Yeah, man. Chastain, just wrong place, wrong time. Clipped into the wall by a guy who ran out of fuel. It's just not good. Let's look at the points, though. Let's look at these juicy points. William Byron and Ryan Blaney are in. They can crash on lap 1, turn 1 next week, and they will be fine. So, good for them. Denny Hamlin is plus 50. It would take the biggest choke in NASCAR history for him to not advance. He can clinch by stage 1 if he keeps that points margin. So, Denny Hamlin is essentially in. Christopher Bell, plus 22. That's somewhat safe-ish. Things can go wrong at the Roval. Chris Buescher, kind of the same situation, plus 19. It's not great, but, Buescher's a decent road racer. So is Bell, so I'd say they feel good right now. Truex, plus 17. After Talladega, for Truex, that's pretty good, because he's usually one of those guys that wrecks too. Larson was plus 2 before this race. Seeing him plus 15 after this race is a miracle, because I just told you about how bad Larson is at super speedways. That is a miracle. But then it gets spicy down at the cutoff line. By the way, Truex and Larson are also both kind of that, you can lose a lot of points in the stages, and then you're in a really bad spot. But if you can get some stage points, you might be a little bit safer. Brad Keselowski +2, that can be overcome in one stage. Tyler Reddick -2, he can make that up in one stage, and it is a road course. Reddick really good at the road courses. Chastain -9, he can make that up in a stage. Bubba Wallace -9, he can make that up as a stage, but he's not the greatest road course racer. Kyle Busch -26, I'm going to go ahead and call that a must-win. Mathematically not a must-win, but if he doesn't get enough stage points, and honestly, he should not be stage racing. With stage cautions, he should be fighting for track position every single caution. Kyle Busch, I'm going to say, is in a must-win. Bad weekend for him. Bad playoffs so far for him, but that is your Talladega race recap. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for the support on yesterday's video. Holy crap. It's got like 50-something thousand views. That's my third most viewed video ever, and it's barely been 24 hours, so thank you for that support. We've gained a lot of new subscribers, so if you're a new subscriber, hi. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're having a great day. I hope your driver did well. If your driver didn't do well, I'm sorry. It's not in my control. Sorry, but welcome to the channel. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're having a great day. Even if your driver didn't have a great day, I hope you're having a great day. So once again, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Any NASCAR news that comes out, I will release it. I'm sure we're going to get something, penalty report from that fight that happened yesterday. And then as for anything else, I'll let you guys know. Points, changes, I don't think there should be any, but any penalties, any news, rumors, whatever, I'm here for you. But next week, the Charlotte Roval, an elimination race. Looking forward to it.